Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of CWN Predicts WWE WrestleMania 37 Night 2, taking place live tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. on Peacock, as well as the WWE Network. Like I said, live tonight, 8 o'clock. Kickoff taking place 7 o'clock tonight, Peacock, WWE Network, as well as social media. I'm having a tough time today saying three-letter syllables or words, WWE, CWN. Just a little bit slow down, I think. But anyways, like I said, night 2, WrestleMania 37 taking place live tonight. 7 big matches on hand. I got to say, if you missed the recap show for night 1, huge fan of the production, everything that took place last night, especially with regards to the weather itself. And, it could have been a lot worse for them. But luckily, everything, took place the way it did. And, props to WB for putting on a heck of a show. They're about a 30-minute delay as far as night 1 went. But the fact is, when it come down to it, night 1 was amazing. The way it capped off, the beginning match, Lashley retaining, obviously. The closing match was Bianca Belair, destroying, so to speak, Sasha Banks. And it was absolutely phenomenal to see it. And obviously, Bianca, beyond, happy today and last night, even doing, promos and interviews and everything else. But congrats to her, and congrats to Lashley as well for putting on the performance he did in the opener. But this is night 2. Like I said, taking place live tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. WWE Network as well as Peacock. And I haven't heard match order yet. I know main event is going to be the triple threat, but as far as the opener goes, I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I know yesterday they had announced it was going to be Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Tonight, I'm not sure. So this is my order of importance as far as the other 6 matches go, and I'm going to go through it right now with everybody. So match number 1, Kevin Owens taking on Sami Zayn. It's interesting because Kevin Owens yesterday cut a promo on night 1 backstage just while the rain delay was happening, so to speak, and he was talking about all the times he had fought Sami Zayn and all the times that in front of basically 23 people or no people or 5,000 people, whatever the case might be. You know what I mean? They've always been kind of walking hand in hand, arm in arm, as far as the wrestling business goes. To see these guys, I mean, obviously they've feuded as far as WB goes, ROH goes, but to see these guys at the main stage, WrestleMania Night 2, going one-on-one against each other is absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, Kevin Owens last year took on Seth Rollins. Sami Zayn was part of the IC title picture back then. But it's going to be interesting because of the fact we get Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, 2 Canadians biased, by the way, go Raptors. Fact is, when it comes down to it, Kevin Owens wanted last year to jump off that pirate ship. Obviously, it's in play. It's in effect. It's there. Are we going to get to see Kevin Owens jump off that pirate ship, and basically come down on his best friend, Sami Zayn? That's going to be interesting there. But then you got the Sami Zayn scenario with everything with regards to the conspiracies against him and Logan Paul. Logan Paul being there tonight. I think Logan Paul is going to turn against Sami Zayn. And then next thing you know, he's going to come out on SmackDown, Sammy that is, and be like, oh, another big conspiracy. Everybody's against me, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say Kevin Owens wins tonight. I'm going to say with the help of Logan Paul. And it's interesting because of the fact that what Owens had done with regards to Logan Paul, leaving the ring, that one of the last segments that we saw them at, and it was basically kind of shoved him on his way by. Kevin Owens did. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays into effect. I can't see, but maybe it could go the other way as well. But no, you know what? I'm going to stick to it. Kevin Owens wins the match between him and Sami Zayn. I'm also going to go one up and say that basically Kevin Owens jumps off that pirate ship tonight. So look for that as well. Match number 2 of the night, the Fiend with Alexa Bliss taking on the one and only, I almost said Legend Killer Randy Orton, the Viper, the Apex Predator, every single nickname he's got going on. But what do they do with this? It's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania, but the fact is, how many different ways can they go with these guys? The match is going to be interesting, so to speak. If you remember back when all of a sudden, why do I think these guys have fought at WrestleMania before? And with regards to that, all of a sudden there was spiders in the ring from lights up above, whatever the case may be. I've got to go back and look at that. I didn't research beforehand because I'm just going for the match tonight. But the fact is, I think they have fought at WrestleMania before. Anyways, guys, comment if they have. Let me know. But the fact is, the Fiend, Randy Orton, going again tonight. It does. I'm going to say it's WrestleMania. I'm going to say something happens to Randy Orton. That's my pick there. I'm going to say because of the promo that Alexa Bliss cut saying that basically they want to destroy and Randy Orton. I'm going to say the Fiend comes out on top, but I'm going to say something happens to Randy Orton in saying that whether or not he gets buried, into that pirate ship, whatever the case may be, something's going to happen to cost Randy Orton the match. We might not see him for a little bit. I'm going to say maybe that's the whole basis of the match here. So I'm going to say whether it's a no contest or whether or not Randy Orton can't continue, I'm going to say the Fiend wins this one here. And I'm going to say Randy Orton takes some time off of TV for a little bit just to play up the angle there. So I'm going to say the Fiend for match number 2 of the night. Match number 3, surprising. WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax as champs taking on Natalya and Tamina. They won the Tag Team Turmoil match last night at night 1. No Becky Lynch, no Charlotte Flair, no Bayley as far as being in the ring goes. She was backstage last night annoying the NWO and Titus O'Neil. But the fact is, Natalya and Tamina are in it. And what do? I mean, it's Shayna and Nia taking on Natalya and Tamina. Shayna and Natalya, 2 of the best workers in the WWE, as far as my opinion goes. Natalya with that legacy, but then you got Tamina and Nia Jax, who at one point were a team. You know what I mean? So does Natalya get her shining moment as a WWE Women's Tag Team Champion in this one, or do we see Tamina basically go and turn her back on Natalya? It's interesting because of the way they ended the match last night. Tamina looked strong, come off the top rope with that splash, to get the victory for them to have them move on. I think she splashed Ruby Riott last night, but I don't know. I'm going to say Natalya and Tamina and new. You could put Tamina back with Nia Jax, but to me, it doesn't play out the way it should. It'd be cool to see Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bayley show up to try to challenge these women here, make it into a triple threat. I'm still obviously hoping for an appearance by Charlotte or Becky or Bayley. But obviously it didn't happen last night. I don't think it's going to happen tonight in this match here. But anyways, fantasy booking, I guess. But I'm going to say Natalya and Tamina to become new women's tag team champions there. And once again, a little bit of bias as far as Canadians go. Match number 4 of the night, United States Championship match. We got Riddle taking on Sheamus. Riddle's been strong as champ. The gimmick, he's done well with it. Obviously, he just laid back. And it's interesting because I didn't realize how much of a character trait he had in him as far as that laid back character goes until I saw RVD with his acceptance speech for the WWE Hall of Fame. And I'm thinking, okay, this is basically the 2021 version of RVD. RVD had a little more excitement to him, or obviously Riddle, I think, is more gifted as an athlete in the ring, but RVD just had that character, that personality trait, so to speak, to put him over the top, and the outfits as well. Riddle's like the 2021 version of RVD. And saying that, though, he's going up against Sheamus at WrestleMania. Sheamus is the same guy who put out Daniel Bryan 22 seconds in to win the World Heavyweight Championship in the opener that one year. I'm going to say history repeats itself as far as Sheamus winning a championship at WrestleMania goes. I'm going to say Riddle, sorry, it's not your time, bro. As far as WrestleMania goes, I'm going to say Sheamus is victorious here and becomes United States champion. And maybe we see him and Drew feud over that belt. Who knows? I'm going to say Sheamus and new. Match number 5 of the night, a Nigerian drum fight for the Intercontinental Championship. Big E taking on Apollo Crews. This is a hit and miss because the fact is I was never a fan of Apollo Crews. Now I'm starting to get into the character because all of a sudden he's changed into this arrogant jackass, so to speak. He's back to his roots. He's back to his heritage, but he's cocky. He was cocky before, but this is a different side to him. And it's a heel, Apollo Crews being cocky and arrogant, playing up the Nigerian character there. And saying that he could be a strong champ at this point. He could be a strong Intercontinental champion. With Big E, He's established everything there is to do with regards to WWE, except for the World Championship. So, I mean, the main event, I'm going to say it plays into the main event, but not until maybe SummerSlam or whatever the case might be. But I'm going to say Big E loses the Intercontinental Championship against the real, so to speak, Apollo Crews tonight. I'm going to say Apollo Crews and new Intercontinental Champion. I'm going to say Big E's got bigger things to do come summer. I think they've got a lot of time for that to happen. SummerSlam, Big E in the world title picture. But I'm going to say, yeah, he drops the title tonight to Apollo Crews, which I never thought I'd say. But the new character with Apollo Crews, yeah, it's interesting, and I think they can go with it. And they can step, like I said, Big E up to that World Championship picture there. Match number 6 in that Raw Women's Championship match: Asuka taking on Rhea Ripley. A lot of factors in this: Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. Bailey won't be a factor in this, but I name dropped her again. But the fact is, Asuka, Rhea Ripley, so much history there with Becky Lynch if she makes a return tonight. It's interesting that Bad Bunny came out in a big rig last night, because they had talked about Becky Lynch coming out on that same big rig, to make an appearance. I don't know if it's still going to happen, but for her to come out just to maybe be part of the match, just to sit there and watch the match, would be cool. Charlotte Flair has not been seen, has not been heard from with regards to storyline wise, everything that's been going on with this. Obviously, she was set to challenge Asuka in the beginning. She's got history with Rhea Ripley, obviously from last year's WrestleMania. She's got history with Asuka. She's got history with Becky. How this all ties in, I don't know. Whether or not it's going to tie in at all, I don't know. Rhea Ripley, I think, is going to be too powerful for Asuka tonight. I can't see Asuka winning. I don't know if there's going to be interference, but I'm going to say this is the night. Obviously Rhea dropped the NXT Women's Championship last year to Charlotte Flair. I'm going to say this is the night where we see Rhea Ripley, basically become dominant as far as, a WBE Women's Champion for Monday Night Raw tonight. So I'm going to say Rhea Ripley for the victory. Not sure how it's going to happen. Hopefully we get to see Becky or Charlotte. I think that would be a cool WrestleMania moment, but I'm going to say Rhea Ripley and new. A lot of new. So I picked Sheamus, Apollo Crews, Rhea Ripley, Natalya, and Tamina. Everybody I've picked is new. And I don't know about the main event here, but that's its next match. And obviously, triple threat match for the Universal Championship in the main event tonight. The one and only Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman, head of the table, taking on the rated R superstar, Canada's own Edge, taking on Daniel Bryan. Yesterday, you would have had me 100% convinced, well, actually I already was, that Edge was going to win. But when Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley had their match and basically Lashley retained, I was surprised. I was like, holy crap. I was like, I thought they were going to give Drew McIntyre his real WrestleMania moment, and it didn't happen. They gave Lashley his WrestleMania moment instead. So in saying that, with regards to Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan, I think to myself, Edge was going to win no matter what. But now, after SmackDown and the promos that they cut, and Roman Reigns looking as strong as he is, and Daniel Bryan being part of the match, I'm going to say this. I've predicted new champions for the Women's Tag Team Championship match, the United States Championship match, the Intercontinental Championship match, which is a drum fight, by the way, which I failed to mention. So basically anything goes. New Raw Women's Champion. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Roman Reigns retains. I'm going to say Roman Reigns walks still out as Universal Champion at a WrestleMania. I'm going to say it's, basically Edge and Daniel Bryan are obviously going to get into it. I'm going to say he capitalizes on maybe Edge spearing Bryan and then picks up from there. But anyways, I'm going to say this. Daniel Bryan's had his moment. Everybody expects Edge to win. I don't think it's his time. Maybe SummerSlam. We'll see how healthy he can stay. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Roman Reigns for the win to retain and still Universal Champion. So that's my official predictions there. So, guys, WWE WrestleMania 37, Night 2, Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, Florida, live at 8 o'clock p.m. tonight, Peacock and the WWE Network. Kickoff at 7 o'clock p.m., Peacock, social media, and WWE Network. Hopefully the weather works better for them tonight, but they did well last night. So, again, match number 1 of the night, I'm going to say Kevin Owens to win. Match number 2 of the night, I'm going to say The Fiend to win. Match number 3, Natalya and Tamina and new Women's Tag Team Champions. Match number 4, I'm going to say Sheamus as the new United States Champion. Match number 5, I'm going to say Big E loses to Apollo Crews, so Apollo Crews wins the IC Championship in the Nigerian drum fight. Match number 6, I'm going to say Rhea Ripley and new Raw Women's Champion. And match number 7, the only person that's going to retain tonight is Roman Reigns to remain the Universal Champion there. So, guys, WrestleMania Night 2 taking place live tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm actually, you know what, in the beginning I was kind of like, yeah, you know, but it was last year. It was different because it was obviously COVID taking place in the Performance Center there, and WrestleMania 36 playing out the way it did. But WrestleMania 37 as 2 nights is to me, I like it. I love it. Years past, as much as I'm a wrestling fan, I'd be sitting there, I'd be like, oh my God, 6 hours in, you know, plus the kickoff show. But it's nice. The break is nice. And New Japan Pro Wrestling does it as well with Wrestle Kingdom now. But the break is nice. So, you know, props to WB for splitting it up into 2 nights. And then props to WB for WrestleMania Night 1 last night, how they performed. It was great. And then hopefully, like I said, Night 2, you know, they're able to go at 8 o'clock tonight with regards to WrestleMania, and hopefully the weather you know, cooperates with them tonight. But I will be back tomorrow for the WrestleMania 37 Night 2 recap show sometime tomorrow. It is March break taking place. I've got my wife and my my toddler to spend time with as well. But you'll see the recap show tomorrow premiere on Facebook as well as YouTube. But guys, that is it for the prediction show for WrestleMania 37 Night 2. Enjoy it tonight, 8 o'clock p.m., 7 o'clock for the kickoff show. And then there's stuff going on YouTube as well as the WWE Network all day. So that is it for the prediction show. Guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. And we will talk again sometime soon.